Today I heard the silliest song about names and I really want to sing it to you guys and to Mabel. I think Mabel would really like it, but I'm not sure where Mabel is. Oh, okay. I guess Mabel is ready to hear this song with us. Mabel, why don't we take a seat somewhere else? Okay, the song goes like this. Katie, Katie, bo baity, bo nana, fana, fo fady, fee, fi, mo matey, Katie. It's a really silly song about names, and it used my friend's name, Katie. Do you have a friend's name, Katie? Or is your name Katie? Now we can put any name in this song and make it fun and make it silly. Let's try it with Mabel's name. I think Mabel would really like that. Here goes. Mabel, 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 bo Babel, bo nana fana, fo fable, fee fi, mo Mabel, Mabel. Now this song got me thinking. It got me thinking about all the different fun things that we can do with names. So today I want to teach you that when you know your name by heart, or really any word by heart, you can use parts of it to make new words. You can make real words, or you can make super silly words. Let me show you what I mean. Mabel's name is written up on the screen. I'm sure you noticed it because you guys have studied it so much now. It says Mabel. It says Mabel. What if we played around with Mabel's name a little bit? Let's change the first letter of Mabel's name. The first letter of Mabel's name is M. M says for Mabel. But let's change it to something different. I'm going to change the M in Mabel to B. Now this says B-able. Now Mabel's name says Babel. But Babel isn't a word. That's a silly word. So let's switch it with another letter and see what else we can make Mabel's name sound like. Mabel, Babel. Let's switch it with this letter. Can you read what that says? Label. Now it says label. Babel was a silly made-up word, but label is a real word. You guys probably know that because you've been writing and you may be adding labels to your pictures. Label is a real word that we can use. So Mabel, Babel, and label, those all have something in common. Can you think of what all of those words have in common? Mabel, Babel, label. They all rhyme. When we just change the first letter, the words have the same ending, so they rhyme. Label, Mabel, and Babel. All of those words sound the same at the end, so they rhyme. We could even change the first letter of Mabel's name to another letter. We could change the letter to a P, and then it would say Pable. We could change the first letter of Mabel's name to a G, and then it would say Gable. We could change the first letter in Mabel's name to an H, and then it would say Hable. Those are silly words, but we also made a real word, label, by rhyming with Mabel's name. Since we're talking about rhyming words and rhyming names like label, Mabel, Babel, some are silly and made up, some are real, I thought we should read a rhyming story from our big book that I borrowed from our reading teacher, Miss Jones. This story is called Pat a Cake. Pat a Cake. Pat a cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Pat it and prick it and mark it with a B and put it in the oven for baby and me. Did you hear all of the words that rhymed in this story? Man, can, be, me. Man and can rhyme just like label and Mabel. We can do this with other names too. Think about your name. If you change the first letter of your name to something else, what could it be? If your name is Katie, you could change the first letter to a B and it would be Beatty. If your name is Katie, you could change the first letter to an L and it would be lady. That sounds like a real word. So sometimes we can rhyme with made-up words, Mabel and Babel, and sometimes we can rhyme with real words, Mabel and label, or man and can. I think you guys know that it's time for Fast Phonics. So we're going to start with our letter names and sounds that we've already learned, from A all the way to P. Let's start with A. A says apple, ah. B says bat, b. C says camel, k. D says dolphin, d. E says egg, eh. F says fire, f. G says guitar, g. H says hippo, I says insect, I. J says jump, j. K says koala, k. L says lemon, M says map, N says nest, O says octopus, ah. P says piano, p. Thank you guys. And we know that the words that we have learned but are still practicing are I and can. So let's bring out our letters and words that we're going to keep practicing today. Our letters today are Q and R. Our words are I and can. Let's study a letter. Q. Say it with me. Q. Now let's make this sound. Qu. Q says qu like queen. What else starts with the sound qu? Quail. Quick. Quest. We named it, we sounded it, we used it. Now let's write the letter Q. Uppercase Q goes around with a little line. Uppercase Q goes around like an O with a little line through it. Lowercase q goes around like a circle and a hook back. Around like a circle and a hook back. Now let's study the letter R. Let's name it R. Say it with me, R. Now let's say this sound. R says r, 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 r. R says r like run. R says r like rose. R says r like rain. Now let's write the letter R. Uppercase R goes down, around, and slant. Let's write an uppercase R. Uppercase R goes down, around, and slant. Let's write a lowercase r. Lowercase r goes down, and then a little line. Lowercase r goes down, and then a little line. We studied the letters Q and R. Now let's study our words for today. I and can. We're still practicing I and can so that we can use them in our writing and we can read them super fast. We'll be able to read them by heart. Let's say the word I. Let's spell the word I. And let's write the word. I is a line down, across, across. Let's study can. Let's read it. Can. Let's spell it. C-A-N. Can. Now let's write it. Around and stop for a C. Around in a line for an A. Down, up, down for an N. We wrote I and can. Now let's put them in a sentence. First, let's say a sentence we could use I can with. I can write. Can you say an I can sentence? I'll start it for you. I can. Maybe you can jump. You could say I can jump. Let's write I can jump. We know how to write I and can. I can. But we need to sound out the sounds in jump. Let's try it on our arm. J. P. I heard the first sound, J. What's next? J. I know that the letter U says J. I know that the letter M says for Mabel, and for the M in jump. Last letter, J. P. P is from the letter P. We learned the letter P yesterday. P says P. I think I sound out all of the sounds in jump. J, P. So I wrote I can jump. Today we learned about rhyming words. We learned that we can change the first letter of a name or a word to make a new word that rhymes, like how we rhymed Mabel with Babel. Babel's a make-believe silly word, but it still rhymes. Mabel, Babel. We also rhymed Mabel with a real word. Do you remember what it was? Label. Mabel, label. They rhyme, and label is a real word. You might be adding labels to your writing, to your pictures that you've been drawing. On your picture of the playground, if you drew a picture of a slide, you may have labeled it slide in the picture. Remember that learning more about words and names helps you become an even better reader and writer.